everyone, this is me Nicky Sinha and a very warm welcome to our YouTube session. So as you all know, in the last class I had started with the discussion on the various foreign travelers who have visited India and who have left a lot of source material for us, right? So we discussed till Niccolo di Conti, alright, so now we'll move ahead from there because there are more scholars that we have to discuss. Okay. Alright, so the next one that we have is Afansi Nikitin. Alright, so as the name suggests, he's from Russia and he came to India in the 15th century. Now, what were his contributions? Let us take a look at that. So Nikitin, he was a Russian merchant and said that in India he spent more than 2 years and he would travel to different cities, and there he got to know about the inhabitants, fine, and he's carefully described whatever he has seen. Okay. So Nikitin's journey to India during the Bahman Sultan, this is from 1466 to 1472, fine. So he visited India during whose reign? He visited India during the reign of the Bahmani kingdom. 1469, he travelled to the west coast of India and then he arrived at Cambay, which is Khambat, which is now a part of Gujarat. So this is his travels that he has done in India. Now, the merchant's notes are organized in the form of journeys. So this is like a travel diary. Whatever he has seen, whatever he has noticed, he has written it down, and this is available to us in the form of a travel diary. The work depicts India's nature, political organization, as well as talks about the tradition, the way of life, customs accurately. Again, not with a lot of biasness, okay? This is the name of the travel diary. Okay, now the other person that we have is Domingo Pais, and he is from Portugal and he came to India in 1520. So after Goa was captured, Goa was captured by the Portuguese and it became the seat of Portugal, Estado da India in 1510, okay. So there were numerous Portuguese adventurers and traders who visited Vijayanagar and they have published extensive details regarding the splendor of Vijayanagar. Okay? Domingo Pais was also one such adventurer from Portugal. Fine. The most valuable writing that Domingo Pais has written is between 1520 to 1522. Okay, so this is the time period that he was here in Vijayanagar and he has noticed quite a few things and he has written about the Vijayanagar Empire. If you all remember your class 12th, you would remember that there's a lot of references to him in the class 12th chapter on the imperial capital of Vijayanagar. Now, Pais has described his voyage to Vijayanagar during whose reign? During Krishna Dev Raya's reign in a detailed manner, guys, in a very, very detailed manner, alright? And it also covers in details the similarity, alright, the similarity of Vijayanagar's military structure called the Malankara system, fine, and the yearly royal Durga Puja, fine. So this system is also known as which system? This is also the system of Amar Nayak, if you all remember. And when we're talking about the Durga Puja, where was this celebrated? On the Mahanavami Dibba, okay? So he has given us details regarding how the celebrations were being done. Okay. Then the next person that we have is Nunes or Fernão Nunes. I'm sorry if the pronunciation is a little off. So he was also from Portugal, and he stayed in India from 1535 to 1537. Now he was a Portuguese horse trader, okay, who may have been in the capital of Vijayanagar during Achyut Raya's reign, and he participated in Krishna Dev Raya's earlier battle. Can you imagine this? Now, he was very interested in the history of Vijayanagar, especially how the city was founded and the career of the three subsequent rulers. So we have Harihar, Bukka, then we have Harihar II, how they consolidated the empire. And not just consolidation, but they expanded at the same rate. they also work towards the prosperity of the empire, isn't it? So he was really interested in knowing them, and he was also interested in knowing their conflict with the Deccan sultans and the Gajapati rulers of Orissa. Now, his descriptions also gives us a glimpse into the Mahanavami festival, as I told you. He admires the extravagant jewels worn by the ladies of the courts and thousands of women who served the king. So this tells us about the prosperity of the empire, don't you think? The royal ladies would definitely be wearing jewelry. That is absolutely fine. They have access to it. But what about the people who serve the king? They are servants, but even then they also have access to extravagant jewelry, which is an indicator of the fact that empire was a prosperous one. All right. Next, we have Vasco da Gama, Portugal. So he was the first Portuguese or the first European actually to reach India. Zamorin, who was the ruler of Calicut, welcomed him, fine, and greeted Vasco da Gama as Portugal's ambassador in the Darbar. Now, he was the first to go from Europe to Asia through the Indian and the Atlantic seas on his maiden expedition to India via the Cape of Good Hope. All right. So actually, he was the one who founded a route, a direct sea route to India. Otherwise, people have tried before, but the Cape of Good Hope was actually never the Cape of Good Hope. It was always so stormy, so windy that most of the ships would actually capsize, right? But it was during Vasco da Gama's, voyage, when the weather was fine, he was able to pass the Cape of Good Hope and hence reach India. So first Portuguese to come to India. Now, he made two expeditions to India, one in 1497 and the other one in 1502. Now, he was an important traveler to India whose history is closely intertwined with that of Goa, right? So after sailing the west coast of Africa and he's rounded around the Cape of Good Hope, his expedition arrived at the Indian trading post of Calicut on May 1498, fine, after making numerous stops in Africa. The Gama arrived in Goa on his second trip, tasked with fighting the spread of corruption that had tainted the Portuguese government in India. For the first time, he had come to India to establish the Portuguese empire, not empire, but the Portuguese trading company, right? And the second time he had come to India so that he could curb all the corrupt practices that have crept up in the Portuguese company that was really spoiling the Portuguese image in India. Okay. Now, the next one that we have is Al-Masudi. He was an Arab scholar. He had come to India from 896 to 956 AD. Okay. So, an Arab scholar, Al-Masudi, he traveled to India in 10th century. Some of his well-known works are Akhbar al-Zamn, which is the history of time, all right. Kitab al-Awza, which is the book of the middle, okay. Kitb Murj al-Dahab wa Madin al-Jawahar, fine. So these are some of his books. I know it's a little difficult to pronounce, but I'll do it for you once again. So this is Akhbar al-Zamn, which is the history of time. This is Kitab al-Awza, which is the book of the middle, fine. And then you have Kitb Murj al-Dahab wa Madin al-Jawahar. Okay, so these are some of the names of the books which he had written. Now, in his book, Murjal Sahab, he has described the India that he has witnessed, okay? And it examines India's political, economic and religious histories, all right? Okay. Now, next we have is William Hawkins. Now, he was from Britain, all right? And he stayed in India from 1608 to 1611. So, Britain's King James I had sent Hawkins as this ambassador to the Mughal court under Emperor Jahangir, fine. William Hawkins led the East India Company's ship Hector on a journey to Surat, Fine. This is where the establishment actually starts, guys. This is where the East India Company actually starts from. So he stayed in India from 1608 to 1611, studied the history of India for days that he was here, and he has done his writings in detail. And it is these writings that would have helped the Britishers conquer our land and rule us for a very long time, because he would have given very crucial details regarding the history, the scenario, the social aspects of India. All right, the last one that we have is Ptolemy. So Ptolemy was from Greece and he was here in 130 AD. Ptolemy was the most influential Greek astronomer and geographer, all right? And he had propounded the geocentric theory of the solar system that prevailed for almost 1400 years, all right? So he was a Greek writer, thinker, philosopher, all right? Not written much about India per se, but yes, definitely we borrow a lot from him, and I think the knowledge regarding astronomy is something which stems from him, okay? So these were all the travelers and thinkers who have, either visited India or they have inspired the Indian thought in society and Indian economy. All right. Again, it is important to remember the name of the person, the place where they were born, how long have they stayed in India, under whose reign did they come, what books have they written, okay, and what have they talked about from the Indian perspective. All right. So these are some important information that you must remember, because then you will be able to answer these questions very easily in your exams. I really hope that this video was useful, because what I've done is I've compiled all the information at one place. So now you have this in a format of a note, right? You have this in notes format. You just have to revise it. You can take this down and you just have to revise before your exams. This will really be helpful to you. All right. Okay. So this is it, guys. I really hope that this video was useful. You understood it, you enjoyed it, you got all the information which was available, okay? And if you have any difficulties, any doubts, please feel free to address them in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to solve it for you. All right, this is me, Nicky Sinha, signing off. I will see you in the next video. Till then, please take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.